is Abdul Rahman Kamara. Top stories in the program. The Human Capital Institute Sierra Leone has on Monday 13th May 2019 commenced a 3-day training exercise at the Hub Restaurants Wilberforce in Freetown on the theme Educate, Strengthening and Empower Them to Find Employment. The event is aimed at raising the levels of human capital management and development, including the quality of human resource in Sierra Leone. To strengthen the capacity of local communities through sustainable, equitable and inclusive community-led socio-economic development interventions, residents and business community in the township of Kabala have called on the government and other non-governmental organizations to improve on their economic livelihoods. All these, including sport, will be part of the program. Remember, you can be part of this program by sending us messages on the number 08813500 or commenting below our Facebook Live video. The Star Good Morning Show is proudly sponsored by Rokel Commercial Bank.
Keke account, you in a keke rider. Osusu account, for you in a trader. Mighty account.
You, I don't people only keke there. Who say you the worship so? Tell who smoke him away the worship for you, we don't get all length in there.
Now Rokel Commercial Bank now then they worship for me.
Hey, Rokel Commercial Bank don't get money, man. Tell me about the account.
Na keke account na inna the money man.
Tell me what is keke. Tell me what is keke.
I be advice on the last time say
yes.
Make una go open keke account. Always una the admire too. Na keke account don't give me. I got over 20 kekes the way they run for me.
What in?
Yes. Even the big ones na the country presently. Na me and then they operate.
With that small money, we will put in the account. Now you will buy all the things they are so with.
That small money they na in turn something for me the like today.
Now me they get money. I will give me woman. Petty money all the eater.
But man, take your money, go na any branch. Tell them say you want to open account. Simple.
The problem I get now that me na bike rider. I wonder if I'm going for open keke account for me.
Whether you na bike rider, whether you na keke rider, whether you dey ride omolanke or push wheelbarrow, I tell una for free. That account dey ede for una all. Yes.
So how? Any can
just go na any branch.
Any of them branch?
Yes. Tell them say you want to open keke account. That's all.
The matter don't done. It don't done. Me they go open your account. What?
You will ride bike. Keke riders, omolanke pushers. Una can join we. Now go Rokel Commercial Bank inside keke account. We all can be millionaire.
Can join Rokel Commercial Bank.
Join Rokel Commercial Bank. Bank with Rokel Commercial Bank. Number one. Bank with Rokel Commercial Bank. Number one.
Welcome back from that commercial break. We move along with the program. The Human Capital Institute Sierra Leone has on Monday 13th May 2019 commenced a 3-day training exercise at the Hub Restaurants Wilberforce in Freetown on the theme Educate, Strengthening and Empower Them to Find Employment. The event is aimed at raising the level of human capital management and development, including the quality of human resource in Sierra Leone. Moses Ojo Kamara has the details of this report.
Speaking during the training exercise, the lead facilitator, Professor Job, said the reason for holding this event is to help provide youth-led empowerment initiative in the areas of business entrepreneurship. He defined human capital as an approach to employee staffing that perceives people as assets whose current values can be measured and whose future values can be enhanced through investment.
When, for example, on the line, there is the director of the firm. Hello, you are speaking with John from Human Capital Institute. I saw your website, sir. I saw that you are growing very quickly and you are growing with products bringing to countries abroad, for example, Senegal. I saw that, and there are a lot of new things, and I can help you. I have important news for you. Can we make an appointment? 20 seconds. That's enough. And then, listen. And then the marketing manager, perhaps, he put questions to you. Let him talk. Let him talk. Yeah? Keep attention and know the keywords. And when you have the keywords, you can make a question about the keywords. Yes, that's right, we are looking to Senegal, but it's a little difficult. Okay, can you tell me why it is difficult? Yeah, that reason, he gives all the secrets to you when you develop your skills in speaking talk.
And Kamara, I am Moses Oju Kamara reporting.
Thank you so much, Moses Oju, for that comprehensive report. Let's go over to Kabbalah. To strengthen the capacities of local communities through sustainable, equitable, and inclusive community-led socio-economic development interventions, residents and business community in the township of Kabbalah have called on the government and other non-governmental organizations to improve on their economic livelihood. My colleague George Elliott Sam has details of this report.
To strengthen the capacity of local communities through sustainable, equitable, and inclusive community-led socio-economic development intervention, resident and business community of Kabbalah Town have called on the government and non-other governmental organizations to improve the livelihood of their communities. While speaking to Star Television in an interview, residents described their current condition as poor and marginalized. In this, they are calling on the government to urgently address their livelihoods and economic needs, which are to promote, protect, and defend their fundamental right, create space for their communities in which they will have the opportunity to participate and develop their full potentials.
Actually, I'm not going to hide the faith. For now, things stop because I deal with the people. Everybody knows say Kelly, they with the youths, then the youths they love me. I get more pressure now because many people they grumble, things hard. More this past months we don't come. You know, the people them, the grassroots people them, they really they crumble, they suffer. So we debate and they preach a message of peace for let government know say the people then are the voter in, and if we come and rescue the people then. Because not everybody know what's they happen at the parliament. But the grassroots people, for a nation for successful and sweet and become good in society, na food security. So I beg the government, let it go cater for the grassroots people, the farmers, the villagers, the people that we don't know how the government system they run yonder. Waiting them here, and how they go come, then buy them one bag rice, then buy them sugar, then daily bread, and they think of. But please, this message let reach Mr. President, when our all president, the president of the Republic of this country say how things they go so hard. You know, food is very, very hard, difficult. And one message we go give them, the traders them, you know, the need for penetrate to the traders union. You know, please, if you see things difficult so, at times dollar they go up. But even with the traders then we get problem. Where dollar come down, waiting at the right of the traders then. Now we get price control, now we get price system in this country, but you know they
tell the power they watch we face. Let the power first way at least let we able to engage. Imagine now why they doing at this, you know, this television. Me a graduate of Northern Polytech, I get a certificate up to now and I get a job. I feel uniform since 2018 November up till now, but I did not do a job yet. Always they push at X. We expect this November we pass, so we get something. But then we never get nothing. There's still a patient. Now we're the patient. But we are let the power able cost down the license for we done. At least what they are. We no go thief, we no go down, we no go put yourself and click business.
All I go tell what take it for the life. But business not too easy. For me not Kabbalah now.
When you say business not too easy, waiting at me.
Well, the business right now what we do now, like we loan money from the after we go to us, car, go to sell, we go pay. We not get money for we sell food to do business throughout. First we go trust, beef. Then butcherman then, particularly me, they are all sell money thing, I go give them the money and get what they get inside it. We have to.
So what will be your message? What's not the message you want to give to government?
Well, really, my own message to the government. Government really get for help with the businessman in particular. And for all, even light business, Kabbalah now will not get light. Pass to learn for ice block, follow by ice block, follow pole, water, follow cut fast with. It's not easy for we at all. The government get for people for the thing.
Reporting for Star Television, I am George Elliott Sam.
Thanks so much, George Elliott Sam, for that comprehensive report. My studio guest is the Director of Communication Ministry of Youth Affairs, Elkas Sano. Elkas, good morning. Welcome to the program.
Good morning. Thank you, Bob.
Today, the Ministry of Youth Affairs wishes to inform the general public that the district council elections will be held on Wednesday, that's tomorrow, across the country. The 2014 National Youth Policy makes it mandatory on the Ministry of Youth Affairs to establish and supervise youth councils at national, district, and chiefdom levels. In tandem with this mandate, the minister successfully conducted the Youth Council election in all chiefdom and is currently working in collaboration with National Youth Commission, the National Youth Service and National Electoral Commission to conduct the district council elections. One of the key mandates of the DYC, among a host of others, is to effectively support and efficiently monitor government policies and programs implemented on the free quality education, free healthcare initiative, Hands Off Our Girls campaign, teenage pregnancy, youth violence, and gender-based violence. The press release goes on. Welcome to the program to actually talk to us on the recent development that you guys intend to undertake on Wednesday, tomorrow, the 15th of May 2019.
Thank you. Basically, like you've just stated in the press release or public notice, it was signed by the permanent secretary in the Ministry of Youth Affairs, and we are lucky to have a ministry with two distinguished personalities. That is the current minister, Honorable Mohamed O. Bangura, and his deputy, Honorable Hussein Kalo, who are working collaboratively to, one, change the mental psyche of our youth. Secondly, to ensure they rebrand the youth sector. And finally, to make sure they uplift the youth ministry. Now, regarding the elections that are scheduled for tomorrow, Wednesday, this is in line with the ministry's mandate as prescribed in the 2014 National Youth Policy. And the ministry decided that in as much as it has been a proclamation by His Excellency the President, Julius Maada Bio, to ensure that we review all act or where necessary policies, which the ministry is also working hard to ensure they fully implement, do what the President has stated in Parliament last year, 2018. Now, the National Youth Policy makes it mandatory on the part of the Youth Ministry to establish and supervise chiefdom councils and district councils, and then at national level, which is the regional point of view. The reason why the ministry decided to enforce this policy or this provision in the Act is because for far too long there has been a disconnect between the young people of this country and that of the policymakers or those who design the activities of the youth or programs and policies that has to do with the youth. Now, at chiefdom level, the youth should actually be part of chiefdom governance. They should represent themselves in the, at chiefdom and district level. The government wants to ensure that there should be a connection or nexus between the youth from chiefdom, district, at national level. And mark you, it is a novelty in the history of this country for you to see young people representing themselves. For far too long, the young people of Sierra Leone have been deprived. Young people of Sierra Leone have been marginalized. And this is why the ministry, under the supervision of the minister, Mohamed O. Bangura, and his deputy, decided that we should enforce this to make sure we allow the young people to participate in national governance. We don't want to see a segregation, a dichotomy between the youth from chiefdom level, national, district level, and national level. Now, if you actually want to tailor development that has to do with chiefdom development at district level, how are you going to contact, how are you going to target the young people? That's why this youth council election is very important. It is actually
quickly, Elkas, has there not been an existence of the DYC and the CYC before this time round?
Now,
has there not been establishment of these councils before?
I actually cannot say.
No, you're supposed to
know. The reason why I am saying this.
Yeah, you're supposed to know.
Yes, I actually supposed to know. The reason why I am saying this. When we tour the country, there were a lot of complaints.
No,
let me tell you, there were a lot of complaints.
When there are complaints, it does not.
No, the complaint has to do with that the chief, at chiefdom level, they complain that they don't have people to represent them, the youth. At district level, we got the same complaint. So you ask yourself, do we have youth who represent their colleague youths at chiefdom level?
Well, it depends. It depends on the type of youth that they spoke to. We've seen a situation where politics.
This cut across.
No, I'm coming.
You could remember vividly when we spoke. I told you that I am touring the north.
Yeah, I'm aware.
You saw pictures wherein I actually took photos with paramount chiefs. So we sat and we engaged in consultative dialogue with the paramount chief and also with the youth. Brought their concerns, and actually we want to make sure those concerns are addressed, and that's why we actually want to enforce the implementation of this youth council. Now some of them, the reason when you ask, you think I am shifting the reality, but now some of them are saying those who are there representing them at the chiefdom level. Some were saying some of them are about 50 years. Some of them are even close to 60 years, and they are representing the youth. So are you saying that these were chiefdom youth councils? So that's why I said that's why it is a difficult question. Now let's say if you have somebody like the director of Media One Center representing the Western area as a youth, representing the youth at Western area, then you ask yourself, are the youth being represented? In as much as the position is there, somebody is occupying that position. No. But is it resonating with what the act says or what the policy says?
It will definitely not going to resonate.
Exactly.
But the general consideration is waiver of the very thought of those councils not being in existence. But principally, I was expecting someone to have said there were challenges, the councils were mad with so many challenges, and these are the challenges we're going to look on towards to see how we can make amends and try to bring them to speed.
No, the challenges.
Is that not the general consideration?
The challenges are part of real life activities or governance or whatsoever you look at it. But there is this mismatch in those representing the youth. You don't call that as youth councils.
Are we not experiencing the same situation in Freetown where people claiming to represent the youth, when you look at their age bracket, they've exceeded the age bracket of youth?
So how do you call that? Is that representation?
It is not a fair representation.
It is not. You don't call that representation.
So
because we actually want. That's why. That's why the president said, "Let me create a platform where in the youth should represent themselves," and that's the reality. It actually becomes foolhardy. You see somebody, like we said, somebody who has nothing to do with youth representation, representing the youth. That means you are actually misdirecting the youth. Now, we have a government that is saying, let us allow the youth to represent themselves. Okay. That's why we said, in one of the requirements, in collaboration with NEC, is that from 18 years, or let's say 15 years, to 35, if you are above 35 years, count yourself out. So we actually in as much as we want to change the perception that the minister has been everywhere this morning, actually telling people the importance of this. He was on SLBC, AYV, telling people the need for young people to embrace this, the need for the stakeholders to come on board, the need for even the chiefdom stakeholders to come on board and make sure they support the process. Because the minister said one of the major challenges he inherited is changing the perception of our youth. Of course, you know that. Changing the perception of our youth and even Sierra Leoneans is a very critical, difficult challenge. Because if you actually want to tailor development, you actually want to implement development, it depends, like you are saying, it depends to how the perception of the youth. How are they going to accept it? Are they going to accept it from the angle of politics? Are they going to accept it from the wavelengths of politics?
So are we saying? There is a beginning process?
Give word of politics.
There is a beginning process now where the lives of youth are beginning to transform.
Of course, that's the essence of this youth council. And mark you, you will agree with me that one of the challenges we have as a nation is because we have an archaic law or an archaic policy that is not in line with contemporary development. Now, how are you going to ensure you roll out or you transform that particular development trajectory plan that befits the status of the youth, especially the youth in Krubula, especially the youth in Western area? Mark you, if you actually want to roll out development trajectory plan, you look at the setting, the environment setting. What Freetown youth needs is different from what the youth of Krubula needs. You understand? So you look at all those setting, you look at the environment and make sure you roll out development that benefit that particular society. Like for example, Bond area. You understand? If you want to take development to Bond, you look at the felt need of the youth. Now that's why the minister said, in as much as I have inherited the problem, the psyche problem among our youth, but let us first review all documents, all policies, and even the act. Now, currently, the ministry recently advertised hiring the service of a consultant that will help review the national youth policy. And that's part of the development we are saying, the transformation we are talking about. Now we have hired a very competent Sierra Leonean with both national and international experience. He is bringing those experiences that will put him in a very good frame of mind to help the ministry in reviewing the youth policy. And we are also reviewing, the plans are underway to review the National Youth Commission Act, even the NYS Act. So the reason why you are reviewing those acts is to make sure it matches with contemporary development, 21st century development, that will benefit the welfare and development of Sierra Leonean.
So I'm pretty much keen to know the formation of these bodies, their ultimate responsibility, according to the press release, is to help
gender-based
support and efficiently monitor government policies,
yes,
like the free quality education,
yes,
the free healthcare initiative,
report on gender-based violence,
Hands Off for Girls,
yes,
the teenage pregnancy, youth violence, and gender-based violence.
yes.
How will you ensure the fairness and transparency of these elections that has been conducted and that will be conducted tomorrow?
That has been the million-dollar questions asked by all journalists. You know what the minister said? The minister said his life is he has put his life as a role model, as an example, exemplary character that Sierra Leonean youth should emulate. And therefore, one of the characteristics of a role model is to make sure you conduct yourself within a dignified with dignity. You understand? And what are the qualities of somebody who say this is somebody with dignity? One, you should make sure that you are well respected and respect people. You should make sure you become an example by not indulging in social vices that actually will actually undermine the peace and security of this country. Now, the minister, what the minister did was, we are actually taking the lead, but let us give the mandate to NEC. NEC is there to come in to help facilitate the conduct of this election. So that's just to tell you the fairness.
Okay.
And these are some of the characteristics we have in our minister. You understand? But he will have said, let us allow the ministry to conduct it. But because the perception of our youth is still difficult, we are still grappling with the mental psyche of our youth, who maybe will decide to label it with a particular political party. And NEC is an independent body. If you allow NEC to conduct that particular process, meaning it becomes transparent, it becomes free, free from irregularities. You understand? Except we have a situation where we continue to doubt the credibility of our institutions.
Well,
but NEC is a very credible institution in this country, established by an act of parliament.
Well, it's up to you to know whether you doubted their credibility, but it's not for me to say. Let's concentrate a little bit on where the district stakeholders were admonished to support the process and ensure that all applicants vying for this position as chairman, vice chairman, secretary, financial secretary, PRO, etc., meet the requirements therein.
Now,
and you encourage women to actually
yes, now
to apply.
Yes, now NEC is going to ensure the applicants adhere to the rules and regulations binding the entire process. How? First, if you say if there is an argument or a protest on the age of that particular applicant, it is left now with NEC to actually do further verification with a lot of evidence, substantial evidence, that will actually prove that you are within that age bracket.
Okay.
That's one. Then another thing, you must be somebody who is a literate. 21st century, you don't represent youth, with all due respect to others, if you cannot write letter A. So you should be illiterate. We don't want that professorial academic requirement, but you must be illiterate. If you want to come, if Mr. Abdurrahman want to interview, let's say the district, carrying a district youth council chairman, you don't expect him to go and talk that basic thing or the basic limba or whatsoever. You expect him or her to be able to articulate the issues.
Okay,
so that's one. There's another thing. You must be a resident of that particular district, or that particular community. So those are the requirements.
Okay. So quickly, how will the election going to be conducted tomorrow, and where is it going to be conducted?
In all district headquarters.
In all district headquarters.
And NEC is actually going to take the lead.
Okay.
We are just going to, of course, I am going to be the team leader. I'm going to base in Gambia. Immediately after the interview, I am calling on all Sierra Leoneans to support the process, and even you, if you actually want, we have invited journalists, we have invited civil society organizations to go and monitor the process.
Okay.
This is where transparency is.
For the benefit
so at the end of the year, you become the mouthpiece.
For the benefit of hindsight, since this administration was ushered in a year ago into governance, what has been the key tangible accomplishment that the Ministry of Youth Affairs has been able to translatively affect the lives of young people in terms of reducing the rate of unemployment, in terms of providing for their economic livelihood? I'm pretty much aware that the Youth Ministry is not there to actually provide jobs. They provide a leverage and a platform to infuse youths into different sectors who are actually seeking for jobs. What has been the yardstick of your accomplishments?
They are numerous.
Numerous?
Yes, it will surprise.
In the midst of the hue and cry of not getting jobs?
Exactly. Now, let me tell you, if you have a very huge challenge, or you have challenges, you understand, and you bring in development, that development will not, within a twinkle of an eye, will not just solve the problem within a twinkle of an eye. It will take a process, and at the end of the day, you don't want to undertake a project. That's what the minister is always against. A quick fix project that is not sustainable. You want to have a sustainable project that will better the living standard of Australia.
No, I'm coming. When you say numerous, it presupposes that there are very obvious tangibles.
Exactly. Let me just highlight them. First, in the history of Sierra Leone, since independence, 1961, that we have Sierra Leonean youth, those youth who we are described as very destructive elements in society, the car wash youth. For the first time in the history of Sierra Leone since independence, we actually transforming them to be an instrument of national development.
How?
An instrument, how? Fine. We have
creating space for car wash.
Not creating space. Like I said, we have the construction of the car wash is ongoing, 60 to 70% complete. You understand? 10 in Freetown, and it's going to be rolled out across all the districts in Sierra Leone. Now let me tell you the importance.
And do you think that principally could be the desire of young people to actually have as an alternative just to washing cars, rather than getting them back into vocational institution that will build a human capacity?
The reason why I started with that is
I'm asking this question.
Yes, let me tell you how. You will have, if you don't have a society or a government that is ready to build the middle manpower of its citizenry, at the end of the day, the development trajectory plan will still be counterproductive, because the bulk of our youth, are actually not literate. The bulk of them, you will agree with me. You understand? Now, are you actually, as a government or as a ministry, do you want to only cater for those youths who are professional, who are coming from Frabe College, as a medical doctor, as lawyers, as bankers, or as accountants? Is that going to be the focus of the government? Is that going to be the focus of the ministry? No. You look at those who are actually not educated, those who for far too long have been abandoned. Those who are the car wash. Now, how are we going to do that? We are actually constructing an ultra modern car wash center, one that is economically viable for the community. How? It is going to create jobs. It is actually going to create employment for young people. And by creating employment, it's like helping that particular youth to take care of their living. And also we add to the country's
is that what
by paying tax.
Is that what you refer to as sustainable approaches to building the human capital of an individual?
There are many. I just started with the car wash. We have the Youth in Agriculture project. The youth in
how are they faring now?
Fine. As I you know what I will do? I will talk to the project manager, the acting project manager of the Youth in Agriculture project, to take Star TV on the conducted tour. There is currently, they are actually plowing the land as we are currently at Massalia and other places. You know what we did? I toured across Sierra Leone with the Deputy Minister of Youth, to make sure we want a situation wherein the youth will own the process. The youth will own the farm. The community, by the chief will provide the land.
Is the current leadership at the Ministry of Youth Affairs not actually promising much more at the end of the day, could not meet up to their promises?
In fact, what will surprise you is that the current leadership, the distinguished personalities, Honorable Bangura and his deputy, they are doing more than what they are promising. Honestly.
So has their promises actually been translated to see the economic prosperity of the young people?
Now, yes, that's what I am saying.
Or should you say they are?
We have the.
Should you say here?
We have the youth in.
That's I'm coming.
Youth in fisheries.
It should not be the life and soul of a gathering. Are you telling me that they are in the process of putting in some tangible accomplishment feats that could translate in the economic livelihood of the people, or they've already meted out that accomplishment that has translated to transforming the lives of your
like
people?
I stated, development is a process. Our own is not a snail. It's not a snail process or a development that is very much sluggish. We have a development process that is currently ongoing.
Okay.
That is not only sustainable, but that will better the living standard and transform the youth of Sierra Leone across. Now, now look at what is happening. We have chiefdom council, youth representing themselves at chiefdom level. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
At district level.
So
that's
was never the case.
At all level, at even zonal level, you just call that. Okay. But we don't want to. We don't want. This is not a political process. I was just kidding. But from chiefdom level to district level, at national level. So at the end of the day, if let's say government want to undertake a project on the youth in entrepreneurship project, you start it from chiefdom level, district, and at the end of the day at national level. We have.
Does the minister have any timeline where they expected all of these their intervention to actually materialize to maturity period?
In setting or rolling out development trajectory plan,
you don't put a timeline.
You don't put a timeline. The reason why you don't put a timeline.
So you're not guided by a timeline.
No, you don't put it. No, you in completing the project. Mm-hmm. There is a time frame for completion of those particular projects. Mm-hmm. But you don't put a timeline to say we will do A, B, C, D within this particular year. Mark you, the ruling government was not voted for 1 year. The people of this country overwhelmingly voted President Julius Maada Bio for 5 years.
Will you be amazed? After 5 years, will you be amazed to understand that His Excellency the President has placed a timeline that the entire economic trajectory of this country will change in 2020?
Yes.
That's a timeline coming from the central government. I mean, not talking of an entity within the bigger picture that you guys have the
let me tell you, even the United States with the bigger economy, in as much as people are saying US is a super world power, mm-hmm. and Britain and whatsoever, every year when government comes in, they actually review their policies okay. to make sure it matches with contemporary development. Okay. So development is an unending process. Mm-hmm. You understand? As long as
it goes to whenever.
As long as society exists, human being exists, development continue to exist.
And those problems evolve.
Exactly.
But I caution you. There is a Latin maxim which says "Festina lente," hastily, slowly. When you are guided by this particular maxim, I'm sure you will come to understand that even when you tend to promise, because the youths are in restless readiness to.
You know what? You know the sad thing is.
They are in restless readiness to ensure.
Exactly.
That, yeah.
They are actually in a rush.
Yes.
You understand? But what has been the problem is to come up with flimsy excuses. Flimsy promises. Sorry, you say you building castle in the air just to make sure you actually complete your political card. Okay. That's not what we are doing. This government don't believe in fake promises. This government don't believe in just making fanciful promises. Well, they undertake tangible development that will better the living standard of Sierra Leone.
Against all of this
sustainability.
All of these pronouncements will be determined at the end of the first 5 years. When you say they don't believe in fanciful promises, they don't believe in extravagant promises.
I bet you by
at the end of the 5
I bet you but come 2023 you will be one of the spokesperson for this government by pointing at tangible development that this government
how will I come to be?
Fine. Now
selflessly.
No, exactly, because you are doing that mm-hmm. as a patriotic Sierra Leonean.
Okay.
You understand? You are not doing that from a political way.
Angle, okay.
You understand? As long as one thing that is important.
I honestly enjoy your resilience, being a spokesperson.
One thing that is you know what,
you deserve your appointment.
You know what,
you deserve your appointment as communication director.
Posterity will not judge us well if some of us decide during the time of governance we have the expertise. Then we decide to sit in isolation without being part of the part of.
I'll come back.
We want history to celebrate us.
Okay.
And that under the leadership of His Excellency Julius Maada Bio, we participated in ensuring that we transform Sierra Leone and transform the mental psyche of all Sierra Leoneans, and that under the distinguished leadership of Honorable Mohamed Omar Bangura, these are some of the projects the government was able to achieve. Okay. And that's what we want, concept development.
Stay with me in the studio. He's Elkas Sano. He's a Director of Communication at Ministry of Youth. Campaign for Good Governance has organized a 2-day training workshop for 50 women aimed at capacitating them on issues surrounding good governance. Our traditional reporter Andrew Bestman has the details of the story.
Speaking during the training, one of the volunteers of Campaign for Good Governance, Fatimata Din Sise, said the training was to capacitate young women in the district to be able to monitor activities such as projects existing in their different communities and report findings of those activities. She disclosed that the training workshop was organized in 3 districts in the country on local and central government policies.
Campaign for Good Governance selects 50 women na Western Rural, we comprise of 4 area, we na Western Charlotte, Gloucester, Tombo and Waterloo. Select them 50 women there for can train them, for can capacitate them, for how for demand for service delivery. We dey train them as monitors them, for go about, for engage the duty bearers them, we na parliamentarians, councillors, the district councils them, for how for demand for service delivery. How because most of the times the woman them can depressed, the woman them they suffer, then they marginalize. So we want to know, they can't train the woman there for how for ask them, say like if water not there in your community, how for go engage them, because we know say most of the women they're not educated enough for able for ask for waiting they want. So they can't train them, they can't develop their skills them for able for go about and for go engage them parliamentarians there, for go engage them councillors there, for go engage the local councils them.
The councillor for Ward 396, Madisu Kamara, and a participant, Christiana Mansari, from Charlotte's community, both thanked and commended the organization for organizing a short training workshop, which, according to them, will help women to be able to identify and monitor all sector space in their communities, such as health, energy, water, and sanitation.
I want to tell CGG, Campaign for Good Governance, because then they try for empower with the woman, and then they try for make sure say the woman then take the lead. As we the woman then we are vulnerable, so that they make us feel so overexcited because of this initiative for empower the woman then at the different districts within the western area rural district, for make sure say then self able for do the work now from different community there after Campaign for Governance.
So glad where they can make this 2-day workshop for can empower with the woman there, for empower we for work now the various community there, for do what be the pass now the community there. Some of you will not be get that power there, but for now Campaign of Good Governance, they don't give that empower for long work now with community there. So I tell the target for long work about the energy, electricity of energy, water and health. That they can train you with, for law we go able to monitor the various communities.
The 2-day training workshop, organized for women in the district, will motivate them to be able to monitor all local and central government policies in health, energy, water and sanitation that are existing in their communities. Andrew Bestman reporting.
Thanks to Andrew Bestman for putting those materials together. Quickly, what could be your closing remarks?
I am using this medium now to appeal to Australian youth at all levels to make sure they support the process if you have an intention to apply, send in your application. At the end of the day, you make sure you confine yourself within the ambit of the law. Go and vote, and make sure you represent your district well. Regarding politics, this has nothing to do with politics. It has nothing to do with APC, SLPP, SGC, or whatsoever political party. That's what the minister is always advising. He said, I am the Minister of Youth, Ministry of Youth Affairs. In that capacity, I am representing all Sierra Leonean youth. I am not here. He said that on SLBC and even AYV today, when he was asked whether I didn't have political connection or whatsoever. He said, President appointed me for Sierra Leonean youth. I am not the minister for SLBP youth or APC youth. And that's the kind of leadership we are. Sierra Leone, we are lucky to have the kind of president we have and the kind of minister who is taking the lead in transforming not only the mindset of Sierra Leonean youth, but to make sure he brings in development that will better the living standard of all Sierra Leoneans. So I will assure you that the process is going to be transparent, is going to be free from irregularities, because NEC is taking the lead and we are playing the supervisory role. Thank you for the opportunity, and I'm inviting Star TV to go and monitor the process. I'm inviting other civil society organizations to go and monitor the process. So at the end of the day, they will come and give first-hand information to Sierra Leonean, how the process is, and that under the new dispensation, that for the first time in Sierra Leone, we have a transparent and youth council elections.
Okay, thank you so much. Director of Communications, the Ministry of Youth Affairs, Elkas Sano, wishing you a very conclusive process in conducting these elections. Thank you so much, and this is how I draw the curtain in today's edition of the program. Thanks to my guest, Elkas Sano. Till then, my name is Abdul Rahman Kama. Have a wonderful day.